The World Series of Poker main event, $10,000 buy-in, day 1D. Supposed to be the biggest day, about 2,000 entrants estimated. Just for today, hopefully they don't make us go 10-handed. That wouldn't be fair since all the other flights were 9-handed. We're in seat 2, not my favorite seat, but we're gonna make the best of it. We're gonna play aggressively and fearlessly. Today is our day to build a huge stack, to give us more cushion for any possible bad beats that lie in the future. If the options are call or raise, I'm usually gonna be going with raise today. It's only $10,000. I'm down approximately $130,000 since I am 1 for 15 in this event. This is my 16th World Series of Poker main event. I think this is the one. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Oh, man, what are you doing here? Man, you're not a tournament player.
World Series of Poker main event is special. It even brings in Pot Limit Omaha cash game players.
We're back to no limit hold'em, but it's
oh, you're back?
I mean, a little bit of everything. You know?
Oh shit! Because my 5% swap. I depend on you. 414.
You like the hair?
414 is good.
So here's my plan.
You know check raise, Charles?
This one. Oh, it's me.
With blinds at 100, 200, 200, under the gun plus 1 opens to 600. And it's on me in middle position with the 6-7 of hearts. I know what you're thinking. Boski, just fold. Wait for a better spot. That's no fun. I saw Michael Adamo 3-bet this holding numerous times. So we're gonna do what Adamo does and make it 1,800 to go. Everything's going according to plan until the big blind puts in the cold 4-bet. 6,200 to go. Original razor folds, it's on me. 60,000. Starting stack. My gut says to fold, but I don't want the table thinking I'm just 3-betting light. We do have position and we do have the aces cracker. So we put in the call. Flop comes 9-4-4 rainbow. Not the best flop for our hand. I expect him to down bet to around 4,000 on this texture, but he checks. What's he repping? Aces. Ace king. No reason to start bluffing just yet. I put in the check. Turns a 6. We got a pair. We do beat ace king. And when he checks, I'm actually confident that he has exactly ace king. So all things considered, time to protect, get some value, and I bet 5,500. And he side calls. The river's a 3, he checks, and I don't think we can get much more value out of here. We check behind and he shows ace king and we take down our first big pot. He looks at his table mate and says, was that 6-7 offsuit? Suited. And we're off to a good start. The very next hand, I look down at pocket aces. Make it 600 to go. Same guy in the small blind calls, and we're heads up to a flop of 9-5 deuce. And he wants revenge. He leads out. 600 to go. Call is definitely fine, but let's get some more money in the pot. I think I have the best hand. I make it 1,800 to go. He calls. Turns a 10. Hopefully he doesn't have 9-10. He checks to me, and the plan is to continue betting until raised. Then we'll figure it out. 3,500 is my bet, and he puts in the call. Queen on the river. No flush on board. Should be a green light for 3 streets of value. He checks, I bet 10,000, and he folds. Good start.
What's up, Jeff?
It's a party.
How are you, buddy?
Doing great.
Good to see you, man. We feel a little something's in the air today, it feels,
Use the
right?
bathroom after, then it's not.
That's what I do.
Yeah. The blinds at 100, 200, 200. Jason Somerville opens to my left under the gun to 600. Gets 3 calls, including the small blind. I'm in the big blind with pocket aces. Great time for a squeeze. We make it 4,200. Plays it. Everybody folds but an overcaller. Asian male with big pot poker on his hoodie. Let's play a big pot. 10,000 in the middle. Flop comes king 6 deuce, 2 diamonds. We don't have a diamond. Bet 3,500. And he quickly calls. Snap calls. That usually means they got a medium strength hand. Turns a 10. I bet 10,000, and he quickly calls. So if he didn't even think about raising, still got to think I have the best hand. A 3 comes on the river, and we're gonna go for that value. 25,000, 1 green chip is what I wager. He grabs for his chips and eventually puts in the call, and we take down a monster pot with 1 pair. The following hand happened with 1 minute before second break. Blinds at 200, 300, 300. Under the gun makes it 800. I've been pretty quiet for the last 2 hours, so under the gun +2 with 6-5 of hearts. It's time to put in that 3-bet. Make it 2,500 to go. Action folds to the small blind, who just eliminated a player with aces, first kings the previous hand. And he puts in the cold 4-bet. Same guy that cold 4-bet me with ace king before. This time it's a little bit smaller, 6,700. Relative to the open raises. Original raiser folds, and here we are again with 6 high in position. I put in the call, and the flop is an action one. Ace 6-5. Let's hope he doesn't have aces. Let's hope he has ace king. More likely to have ace king. When he bets 7,000, my read is confirmed. Small possibility of kings, maybe queens. So with 2 clubs on the flop, we have position. We're just gonna play various runouts and just call. Shouldn't really have a raising range here. Turns the 9 of clubs. 8-7 gets there. Any 2 club hand gets there. And he checks. Time to go for value. Putting him on ace king, or freeze him up if he has aces, or kings or queens with 1 club. Bet 12,000 and he calls. Looking for a clean river, and the river is an ace. We now have 3 pair and we beat absolutely nothing. He checks over to us, and I don't think he's capable of folding trip aces. So we check behind. He shows ace king offsuit and scoops a monster pot, and we're back to starting stack. 4 hours in.
Another break.
How you doing?
Fuck.
Oh, squad. Oh,
Hey, Jeff.
Does camera work?
Yeah. Go ahead, continue.
Oh. 6 hours down, 90,000 chips. Coming back from dinner break. Good time with the ACR crew, eating some Chinese, 20% off. Local discount. $1 saved is $1 earned. With blinds at 300, 500, action folds to the cutoff, who opens to 1,200. He's done this many times. It's a long day, a lot of play, great structure. Folds me in the big blind. I look down at 7-5 of clubs. I think about 3-betting this holding, maybe to 5,000, really put the pressure on. But instead we decide just to call, see a flop. And a flop, we do see ace 8-6, 2 spades, 1 club. The combo and a half draw. We check to the razor, and he bets 1,600. He does have the ace X advantage here, but sometimes they'll just bet every ace high board. So I think it's a good candidate to check raise to 5,200. He thinks about it and puts in the call. The turn brings the 3 of clubs. Open-ended with the backdoor flush draw possibilities coming in. We want to size up to 10,000 on the turn, try to get that fold, or get there on the river. He quickly calls the 10,000, and the river's the king of clubs. We got there, less than a pot-sized bet remaining. I shove all in, having him covered, and he quickly calls off his last 27,000 chips with 6-8 of clubs. Nice board dealer, not rigged at all. And we're down to 30,000 chips on last break of the night. 2 more hours till we bag and tag. With blinds at 300, 600, there's an early position open to 1,500. Button calls, and I'm in the small blind with ace queen off. Kind of got to respect the early position open. Usually I squeeze here. Been going to war with the person on my right on the button a lot, but we just set the trap. You put in the call. Big blind folds for 3 ways to a flop of ace 9-5, 2 diamonds. We have the ace of diamonds. Check to the razor, who checks. Looks like he's given up. And the button, who has about 150,000 chips, puts in a bet of 3,200. Of course, we're just going to call here and let him overvalue all of his ace X holdings. Original razor folds. We're heads up to a turn. That is a offsuit jack. We check, and he bets again. Pretty small size, 5,600. Of course, we call again. The river's a 3 of diamonds. We do have that ace of diamonds. He does not have the nut flush, I'll tell you that. We check, and he bets 12,600. Interesting size, very precise. Still under repped. We don't like to see the flush getting in, but not everybody's going to barrel flush draw on the turn. We put in the call, and he shows us Jack 10 of diamonds, and we lose a healthy pot down to about 30,000 again. I play aggressively the last few hands of the night, get some 3 bets through, and we bag up 43,800, peaked at 115, bottomed at 30. We'll take it. Another day in the books. We bagged and we tagged at the Rio World Series of Poker main event. Stay tuned for day 2.
Bag and tag.
I'm encountering a lot of traffic entering the Rio. Day 2 of the World Series of Poker main event. Another 10 hours of play, 13 hours of actual time at the Rio, and we'll be bagging up a fat stack for day 3. I know that during the last World Series of Poker main event on day 4, I discussed superstition and numerology, especially in the Chinese culture. He asked how much, and I announced 84,000. Goes deep into the tank and folds. I show Johnny Backs my Jack 8. We get a nice bluff through. After the hand, I tell Gus and Johnny about my theory with the 4-4 and the 8-8, and they laugh and they think it makes a lot of sense. And we now have 500,000 chips. A few orbits later, I raise it up to 18,000 at 48,000 with Jack 9 of hearts in middle position. Gus Hansen puts in the call, and we're heads up to a flop. Flop comes 7-7-5, 2 hearts. A good flop for me. I bet 20,000, and Gus, in under 1 second, says I can't resist, and he makes it 44,000. Just splashes it in there. I'm kind of feeling this for weakness. I think he would have thought a little bit longer. He usually does like the chip dance and everything. So definitely a standard call here, but I think we can take the initiative and make it 94,000. Just a 50K on top. Huge sign of strength. Pretty rare to 3-bet a flop at 7-7-5 unless we have specifically an overpair or the random 7. He eventually puts in the call. He has us covered with about 500K behind. The turn is a 6. We could have 8-9. We could have a boat. Pocket 5s, pocket 6s. It's time to continue the story. I don't want to check call, and I size up to 130,000. With Jack high, Gus goes deep into the tank, and he folds. We take down a nice pot. He asks to see 1, and we show him the Jack of hearts. Could be pocket jacks. Could be ace Jack of hearts. We'll keep him guessing. Feeling good. Up to 600,000 chips in the World Series of Poker $10,000 main event. The number 8 is extremely lucky. Houses that end in the number 8 or have multiple 8s in them come at a premium. While on the other hand, the number 4 is very unlucky. The pronunciation of it in Chinese, I believe, or Mandarin, sounds very similar to how they pronounce the word death. So they want to avoid 4s at all costs. Many casinos don't have the 4th floor on the elevator. It's unlucky. Just like a lot of elevators don't have the 13th floor. If you believe in that sort of stuff, I don't think it's scientifically proven, but when I found out that my table draw for day 2 was table 44, seat 4, I figured that's too ironic to really represent my death in the Squid Game that is the World Series of Poker main event. So I'm going to be optimistic and look at this as more of a blessing and more of a troll from the Grand Simulator than an actual doomsday curse. I believe I can win. Luck does play a big part in it, but that's the wrong way of thinking about poker. Make good plays, get your money in good things will happen in the long run. Let's get lucky. The blinds at 400, 800. 1 orbit has gone by. We still have 43,000 chips. Action folds to a recreational older Caucasian man in the cutoff, and he open raises to 6,000. My cameraman Nick just arrived, so maybe it's time to play a hand, but I can't even imagine how many hands I'm going to play versus 6,000 chip open raise off of his 34,000 chip stack. Action folds me in the big blind, and I look down at a ace. Don't be a queen. It's another ace. Pocket aces. The question is, do we flat and set the trap, or do we put in a small raise? Just keep building that pot. Not very balanced, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Eventually make it 12,000. We don't want overcards or something coming to his jacks or queens. We want to get the money while the getting's good. He quickly shoves all in. We have him covered, and we have pocket aces. I snap call, and he has pocket queens. Board comes king, 7, 6, and the turn's a queen. The table oohs and ahs and devastation. The river's a brick, and we lose a 70,000 chip pot with pocket aces, all in pre-flop in the $10,000 World Series of Poker main event.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Sorry, buddy, but
hey, that's poker. I like to think I'm numb to these types of emotional swings, but that one hurt. The good news is we still have 8,300 chips, 10 bigs. We know what to do with that. The good news is I still have 10 blinds. We got this. Just a little bump in the road. Just a 70,000 chip pot. Aces versus queens. When he opened to 8x pre, I knew he had a big hand. Luckily, I had a bigger hand. But that's poker, folks.
Until this 16th they say, but they cut off my service.
One orbit later, we're under the gun with Queen Jack offsuit, 8,300 chips. I shove all in, pretty loose, but got to win your all ins. Action folds around to the button, the same guy that had the queens, and he puts in the call and says, I got a pretty good hand. That's a problem. The blinds fold and we're up against King Jack. Flop comes 3 hearts. We have the only heart, and here's the video. Anything can happen.
Yep.
Like a heart pop off. Or queen.
Good hand.
Thank you. Play a few more pots, and we're on break with about 22,000 chips. 1K big blind, 22 bigs. Let's find good spots. 3, 2, 1, boom.
Just a big fan of Jeff. I hope you run deep.
Where are you from?
New York.
What's your name?
Brandon.
There you go.
Is your name Michael?
With blinds at 501,000, we can move to a new table out of the Brasilia room and into the pavilion where the chairs are much less comfortable. But that's out of my control. Let's make the best of this experience. We do have seat 5, which is my favorite seat. Fold for quite a few orbits, no real good spots. I get one squeeze through with a good hand in the big blind. Action folds to the middle position player who makes it 2,500 to go. He has long red hair and a red mustache. Caucasian male. I'm on the button with King, Queen of clubs and about 24,000 chips. I contemplate shoving all in. Seems like a little much. We do have position. Let's see a flop. I put in the call. We go heads up to a flop of 5 deuce deuce. He bets small, as he should with his whole range, 1,500. I put in the float. The turn's a king. Great card for us. He checks. I'm putting him on a lot of ace highs and mid pair type hands, so let's get that value. I bet 5,500 and he tank calls. The river's a 10. Hopefully he doesn't have pocket 10s. I have 14,300 behind. Seems like a slam dunk value jam, but no reason to risk it all. I bet 11,000 to get that value. He immediately says, I think you have aces, but I got a call. What does that mean? That means that he has ace king offsuit and he trapped us good. Horrible turn card, miracle 2-outer for him, and we lose the majority of our stack. I now have 3,300 chips at 1K big blind. Shove Jack 10 offsuit, very next hand, button has ace 5, we're heads up, and we got video.
I mean, that was coming. I knew, I actually didn't know that.
That's the first thing I heard about it, and I don't know what it was.
I get the double, and we're right back in it with 9 blinds. A few hands later, I look at pocket 6s in middle position. Pretty easy jam here. 9,300 to go. Late position, asks for a count and puts in the call. Hopefully we're flipping. We're heads up, and he shows pocket 7s. It's got me pipped. Let's get lucky. Here's the video.
I never made a bind.
Pretty unlucky.
I left it and left it and left it.
A lot of 6s left, huh?
All right, attention, restart main event players. Day 2, restart players only. There's a whole bunch of things going on, so make sure this announcement only goes to restart players for the main. We're going to do this break here in under 5 minutes the exact same way we did the first one.
And we're out of the World Series of Poker, $10,000 main event. Many memories were had, and in the end, another $10,000 is gone. 16 main events in the books with 1 min cash. That's tournament poker for you. A lot of luck, a lot of butterfly effect, but in the long run, good play will be rewarded, so don't give up unless it's really affecting your finances and your mental life. Poker's a great game, especially when you're winning. Take care, good game, good luck to everybody else still in.